everyone, my name is Tiffany Potter and this is my speech, The Downfall of Marijuana. As marijuana has become more and more popular, we have failed to understand and take into consideration on how legalizing marijuana can negatively affect the surrounding states. For example, Colorado and Nebraska. Throughout this speech, I will explain how Colorado has negatively affected Nebraska and why something needs to be done about this when it comes to legalizing marijuana. I will explain how the values helpful, careful, and self-control are being utilized wrong and how they can be corrected. First, I will talk about what the goals of legalizing marijuana are. First, they talked about helping people with sickness and how taking a drag or two of marijuana can help cure a sickness. But when it comes to that, it's just making people fake sicknesses and just try to be prescribed marijuana when nothing's really wrong with them. So, quote, legal medical marijuana has been commercially available on a widespread basis in Colorado since mid-2009, which is from a science experiment conducted by Pseudol, page 1. And then their second goal was to attempt to control the use of marijuana, but just like alcohol or any other illegal substance, the more you try to contain it and the more you try to control who uses it and how they use it, people are just going to keep doing it, and whether it's illegal or legal. So the value trying to be used here is helpful, which is giving help or being useful. And so the government was trying to be helpful by saying, oh, okay, so if we prescribe it to people, it'll help maybe control the issue, but in reality they were probably just making it worse. So that is how helpful was being used incorrect. And then my second is the value careful, or making sure of avoiding potential danger, mishap, or a harm, which is a Google definition. Now that marijuana is legal in Colorado without prescription, many people are driving while being high, which makes them cross the border into Nebraska, which makes them get into car accidents with being high, which I remind everyone that it is illegal to have marijuana on the person in Nebraska. According to Pseudol, a man on a motorcycle took his own life in a fatal motorcycle accident after driving while being under the use of marijuana, which he had crossed over the border into Nebraska and got into a fatal car accident. And then after the car accident, nothing was done, no laws were addressed, nothing was changed, even though it was illegal to carry marijuana with him or be high while driving in Nebraska, which is described by Single in his article, The Impact of Marijuana Discriminalization. He states, rates of marijuana use increased in the U.S. states, which reduced maximum penalties for possessive to be a fine. But as you can see, that no one got fined after that motorcycle accident. And so I believe that is wrong, and people were in it wrong. Law enforcement and people using could be more careful to protect themselves and protect others, because just like that, this man he didn't kill himself, but he was in a car accident which killed him and could have killed other people. Third, I will talk about daily usage of marijuana. Many people say you cannot be addicted to marijuana, but I disagree with that. People use the substance daily, and the causes can be fatal. Daily use equals brain morphology. This was proven in a study by Wellen, Thalen, and Depew. Brain morphology would be a disturbance in the form or structure of an organ. So using marijuana every day can cause failure and structure disformities to an organ. The misusage of the value self-control comes in when people mix alcohol and marijuana together. So when you drink and become drunk, you lose motor functions, and that also happens when you become high. But what happens when you combine the two? Which in a case where you combine the two, you lose almost all reaction and motor functions when being high and drunk. And this is explained by Ramokers and O'Holland. And he also explains that these symptoms last up to 24 hours, not just an hour or two. They last 24 hours, and marijuana stays in your system for months, not just a couple days like alcohol. It stays in your system for months. So mixing the two also gives you a greater hangover and causes impairment to the symptoms that last longer. Self-control needs to be used when mixing both because it can cause serious permanent damage, and especially when driving doing both. In the end, marijuana may have some positive outcomes helping people with health issues, but are also caused by many negative events. And are these negative events that I have pointed out, are they worth the risk of just helping a few? There have been too many casualties that have happened throughout the years because of legalization of marijuana.